A wee dram being savoured thousands of miles away from the casks it came from. The United States is the most valuable export market for Scotch, and although profits aren't yet back to pre-pandemic levels, the suspension of costly tariffs last summer has already helped whisky bars like this one in New York City.
The tariffs were misguided, unfair, and I think if they'd lasted much longer it would have been a great threat to Scotch whisky. Yeah, I'm not worried about Scotch. I think the future for Scotch is very strong. The desire to learn about Scotch and to experience Scotch is only increasing in this market, and I think the runway is long and the future is bright.
Despite COVID and supply chain issues creating a challenging trading environment here, demand for Scottish whisky remains high, meaning there's plenty for Scottish businesses to toast to. Including the appointment of the Scottish Government's first US trade envoy.
Tartan Day, Tartan Week is a huge opportunity for us to build on the centuries of goodwill and connections that there have been between Scotland and both the United States and Canada. It's going from strength to strength, and I think we should be really excited about what it is and what it can be in the future.
And that's music to the ears of businesses like Anna's. Based in Edinburgh, their tartan textiles are so popular across the pond, they've just opened up their first shop in the States.
We've just grown that market. When we were locked in during COVID, we spent a lot of time doing research and finding out where those customers were, and realistically we think we could double the size of the business through trade in the US. Yeah, definitely some expansion on the cards.
Hopes are high this momentum could lift an historic ban on haggis exports, with Scotland's largest producer hungrily eyeing up the market.
By all accounts, we could have haggis in the States for St Andrews this year. I am very hopeful because it's the most positive sign that I've had that we are at the final stage of this process. And if we get all our ducks lined up, it may just well happen.
With Scottish gins rumoured to be the next big thing to break America, business looks bright for Scotland's larder. And we're here in New York City on Tartan Week, of course, which is a great opportunity for Scottish businesses to showcase what they can do and make those crucial trade links with the US market. And one person that comes here very often is world-famous kilt designer Howie Nicholsby. Howie, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Laura.
You're very well known for designing kilts for celebrities, like you did Vin Diesel's leather kilt, and you've also kilted up Richard Branson. How valuable is the American market for you?
Well, it's huge and much more open-minded. They get the fact that the kilt's not just a heritage piece, it can be worn in a fashionable sense and as an alternative to trousers. It's also a very healthy garment for men.
And you're playing a really important role in tomorrow's Tartan parade, aren't you? Tell me what's going on.
Well, I've got the honour of dressing Grand Marshal Karen Gillan. The last one was Billy Connolly in 2019. I've been involved in loving Tartan Week and its celebration of Scotland. We as Scots need to be prouder of being Scottish.
We'll bring all the highlights from that parade tomorrow as well. I've got a customer here as well who's getting a kilt fitted. Sir, can you tell me why you've got a kilt today?
Well, it's always been a dream of mine to have a kilt made by the master himself, and just proud of my heritage. There's a real pride in wearing a family tartan, and I've come to New York to be fitted again, and we've become friends over the years, our families.
Again, have you got more than one?
I do. This is my fourth.
That's more than a lot of Scottish people, actually. Well, I'll let you get back to it. Thank you so much for joining us on the STV News at 6. And tomorrow, of course, the week culminates in that Tartan Day parade where thousands of people will march down the city streets here. And there'll be performances and live events. We'll bring you all of that, all the action here on STV News.